What is going on, YouTube? This is Chris here with Poor Boy Gaming, and today we're going to be bringing you our first Pauper tournament segment. So, before we hop into our tournament coverage on this, let's do a sweet little deck tech. Uh, so, I had been playing a pretty sweet mono black Pauper deck. Not necessarily the one that you might traditionally see. But it was actually more of a land destruction build, believe it or not. And I had some pretty decent success with it. And then I'd put together this list, um, and I gave it a trial run last week. And I'm still learning how to pilot this thing effectively against some of the other decks, but it is pretty sweet. So the basis of the deck, you're looking at really kind of exploiting Freed from the Rail. We'll take a look here. Alright, so fair enchantment for the most part, 3 mana, enchant aura. You can tap or untap a creature for blue. Okay, so kind of harkening back to the days of the old Enchantress style decks. If anyone remembers playing back then, where you try to generate a bunch of mana by stacking up your stuff like Fertile Grounds. We've got Fertile Grounds and Sheltered Aeries. Each of these produce additional mana when you tap a land. And we'll be using those in conjunction with Freed from the Rill. And now, of course, you're like, well, but that's not a creature. But if you look, we've got Wind Zindikind. I think I pronounced that right. And Life Spark Spell Bombs. So, what we want to do here is we want to try to, go through our Ponders, Portent, Preordains, Anticipates. We want to hit those early cantrips, and we want to try to get to a land with Fertile Grounds on it or Sheltered Areas on it. And I would say typically when we're sitting at around 5 mana or so, I like to try to go off here for infinite mana. The heavy lifter of this deck, though, is by far Giga Drowse. No matter what you're playing against, whether it's aggro, whether it's control, whether it's opposing combo decks, Giga Drowse has just been by far MVP. I don't even know that this deck could be a deck without a Giga Drowse in it. But essentially, you just look to try to set up, and then end of turn, you just, if you're worried about the control decks, you just Giga Drowse all their lands down. You're worried about some aggro and you need more turns to stay alive, you just try to Giga Drowse their guys down. So, very, very powerful card to help you kind of get yourself situated. So, once we've established our lands, we'll use Lifespark Spellbomb or Wind Zindikind to turn them into creatures, allowing us to put Freed from the Real on our land. And of course, if you can tap a land for 2 mana at that point, you can spend one of those blue mana to untap the land, letting you retap it for 2, pay 1, and so on. By doing so, obviously we get an infinite amount of mana there. Now, the win con for this deck is very simple. We're going to be using Valakut Invoker. Pay 8, does 3 damage to target creature player. And in order to help us get that, the last piece of the puzzle here is Drift to the Phantasms. It's a 3 mana 0/5 defender, but the key thing here is it has Transmute for 3. Now, if you look, Transmute for 3 is pretty powerful here. Transmute for 3 actually lets us go get one of our mana accelerants for our lands. It lets us go get Freed from the Real, and it lets us go get our win con. So, Drift to the Phantasms is pretty phenomenal here. Now, in terms of the cantrips, we've gone with Ponder, Preordain. We have a single copy of Portent to kind of get just a little more reach in there, and we have 4 copies of Anticipate. On the sideboard, we're not exactly sure what we're doing. I don't think. Fog and Tangle were good last week, kind of in the maiden voyage of this thing. I actually managed to win some games because those did effectively kind of hold the opponent off. The issue I was seeming to have is I still haven't figured out the appropriate way to really sideboard with the deck yet. Like against extreme aggro matches, you want to jam those fogs and those tangles, and maybe even the vapor snags. But that's so much to bring in. How could you possibly, what do you possibly bring out? I mean, I kind of try the old, the old tried and true, just just get a little bit of everything out of there, and maybe I won't mess anything up too bad. But I did absolutely notice that my reduced number of cantrips, my reduced count on everything from my Winds into Cons, Life Spark, Spell Bombs to trigger a guy, my Freed from the Rails. I'm starting to wonder if sideboarding is even something you ever want to do in this deck, hardly. Obviously, there's probably a case for it. Just I'm still, I think, learning how to effectively sideboard with the deck. As opposed to other decks you play where you're really trying to build your board around some specific matchups in the meta. Mine, you'll notice, they address two things. People who are trying to stop me by killing me with creatures, and people who are trying to stop me by, using counter spells or, their own enchantment type removal. And so that's what our sideboard tries to address. We care a little less about the counter spells, so we've dedicated a little bit less board space. We do care much more about the aggro, as we have no way to defend ourselves really outside of the Giga Drows, and other than that, we have to try to be fast, and we just have to try to combo before they can kill us. I actually won a couple games last week at 1 life. Those are pretty sweet. I actually lost one at 1 life too. I was just like, heart of the cards, and it was a land. But the very next card was the Freed from the Rail I needed to win the game. It's so disappointing. But yeah, this deck did okay last week. It failed the top 8. It had just failed to make top 8 in the tournament. So this week we're gonna hopefully do a little better with it. Or we might get squashed. We don't know, but it's a fun deck, so we're gonna deal with it either way. But anyway, that's a bit of a look at the deck, and I'll see you in the Pauper Tournament Round 1. See you then. Alright, welcome to Round 1 of our Pauper League. Get my settings set up here. Alright, not off to a spectacular start here. Boy. So it looks like we're going to get to start off with a sweet mulligan down to 3. Alright. Well, this is the way the day is going to go. This is going to be a very short tournament for us. Oh, goodness. Alright. Well, we don't have a whole lot going in our favor here. We might have to just play the Winds into Con to have ourselves something in the air to block with. I think that's what we'll do. This is definitely not the way the deck is intended to be played. But there you have it. Guess we'll go on in there. There's no reason not to attack. So yeah, this is just an exceptional spot. I guess I could have kept that one land or that one land hand when we had, full grip. But I mean, you don't know it's gonna get this bad. Try to play a disciplined game of Magic, but you do get punished sometimes. But we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we'll draw some gas so we can get ourselves back into this. Some cantrips of our own would be pretty nice here. Even if we hit an island here, there's real okay. That's a good draw for us. Not sure what our opponent's mulling over here. Alright, so man, we don't want any of that except for that ponder. So I guess we'll take the ponder. We'll probably shuffle away next turn. Let's go ahead and ponder one more time. Yeah, none of that's going to help us right now. Okay, that's an actual okay draw there. At least now we could drift the Phantasms to go get the enchantment for our land. That might be a thing to do. Also, we do have the land enchanted already. Ugh. Being taken to Value Town here. Alright. We'd like to not have to use our transmute here. If we can get the setup here, I think we're going to go ahead and just preordain. Holy moly. Alright, put that on the bottom. I guess we'll go ahead and top that Anticipate. And because they do typically run a little bit of counter magic, we'll go ahead and just do this main phase on our turn. Okay, so we found we found the fertile ground. We're gonna want to scoop that up. Okay. Well, I don't love our position, but we're not just out of this yet. I'm not a big fan of them passing with all that mana up. Hopefully they'll find something to play this turn. Okay. Alright, so that's no good. No bueno. Alright. So, yeah, getting that fertile ground counter, I mean, we've seen the open mana. We knew that was a possibility, but we're so far behind that we can't really afford to be just skipping turns at this point. At this point, I'm almost inclined to trade. This is 2, 3. You know, I'm going to go ahead and take it one more time. I do hate giving him the extra cards, but at the same time, it's one less thing we have to have for our combo, already having the creature land online. So we're about to hit that, necessary amount of mana we need. Alright. Well, we have the Giga Drowse. So the question is, do we go for the mana here, the Sheltered Airy, or do we go ahead and grab Free from the Rail and hope to draw into something else? I think the better play here is to go ahead and just grab a Sheltered Airy. It's a piece of the combo we have to be able to resolve. And worst case scenario, if we do resolve it, it does make our Giga Drowse just a little bit better. So I think that's what we'll go ahead and do here. Alright, looks like we're going to drop to 7 here. I don't think there's any way to win. I mean, we've let him draw too many cards. It's very possible at some point I should have just given up this land and blocked one of the first Ninja of the Deep Hour, but the fact we are so far behind is why I don't think I was in a position to just throw away my enchantment there. So obviously we're gonna run smack dab into a counterspell here when we try to play our Sheltered Airy. Interesting. I mean, I think we want both of these. We could try this Sheltered Airy. I get the feeling it's not going to resolve. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He does have Fatal here. Well, I think let's just go for the enchantment. And when he counters it, because he's definitely going to counter it, or maybe he's not. We'll just have to hold up the Giga Drowse. There. This might give us. Let's do that one. Right, so he counters one of them. Does he have the double counter here? Alright, so opponent's got game 1. Mulligan to 3. I'm not really surprised there. So this is where I think I would like to be able to bring in some of our spell defense. Yeah, the settings always get all messed up here. The question is, like we had said earlier, it's just kind of like, what do you take out? I think I can drop one cantrip. Like I would like to be able to bring in the Dispels. I'd like to be able to bring in the Spell Pierce. So I'm looking to bring in 5 here. I think we cut maybe 1 Winds into Con, possibly. Maybe it's a Spell Bomb. I'm not sure. We could probably cut some number of Anticipates, like let's shave an Anticipate off. Let's shave. Actually, let's shave 2 Anticipates off. Let's shave off 1 Winds into Con and 1 Life Spark Spell Bomb. Let's give that a try. Let's see if that gives us a little bit more resilience against the counter control of our opponent. Let's also not mulligan to 3 if we can help it. Okay, so we're on the play. Alright, this is a perfectly reasonable hand. That's nice. I mean, it's not great. We don't have any mana accelerants, but we do have Preordain. Hopefully we'll run into one. But after that last nightmare, I don't think we can afford to just pitch it. I am going to go ahead and get the tap land in first. I'd like to Preordain on that first turn, but at the same time, if we were to draw like a Fertile Ground here, I'd really like to be able to play that without it having a chance to be countered. Let's go ahead and Preordain here. Okay, so Shelter there, this is great. I don't think we need both. I think we'll bottom one and we'll top one. And then we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Okay, Fairy Miscreant. So I kind of expected days here. Given we have double drift, I think we'll just go ahead and try. And if they want to blow their days, they can. Okay. So it's 2, 3, 4. Alright, so it looks like we're just really missing a way to turn our land into a creature. We've got the win condition in our hand and a way to go get freed from the real, so Fair Miscreant beats. Here we go. Alright, that's a good draw for us. Just looking for something. I think we'll top that Ponder. Check one more card here. Did not get it. We'll go and shuffle. Perfect. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and play Winds into Con over here. At least going to give it a try. Oh, Lord. Well, that's a beating. We had the Spell Pierce for Counterspell, but the Spell Stutter Sprite wasn't really on my radar. It really should have been, but it wasn't on my radar there. Okay, so the search continues. got Life Spark Spell Bomb. Would love to see a Giga Dress here. We're going to go and transmute. Let's get our Freed from the Wheel here. Echoing Truth. Interesting. He's definitely got the counter to that. So that kind of sucks. I don't. What did I miss? Oh, he just paid the 2. Yeah, we at least. We get the opportunity to replay it here. So just a full suite of answers to what we're trying to do here. Yeah, the blue control decks with, real dedicated counter synergies. This definitely is the, most difficult matchup for us. Well, I don't believe we're walking away with this one. Lack of Giga Drowse kind of kills us there. We never found our Giga Drowse to tap them end of turn. And, yep, here comes Free Miscreant. And GG's opponent. All right, we'll try to pick it up in round number 2. Have a little bit better luck. See you then. All right, welcome to round 2 of Pauper Classic Tuesday's tournament. Give me just a moment here. All right, so this is probably the best opening hand we've had in terms of getting our mana online on time, and hopefully we can cantrip into, a Freed from the Rail and maybe a Drift to go get our win con here. So I think we definitely a snap keep. Oof, looks like we're going up against the same deck we played last round. These are pretty common here in Pauper. You do see a lot of these. I think we do want to go ahead and play the untapped land here and ponder. Yikes. I think we're going to go into shuffle there. Alright, so that's fine. I think we'll play a Fertile Ground here. It seems innocent enough. Apparently not innocent enough. Well, I guess they probably would have fired that at pretty much anything, though. Oh, alright. We'll try it again. See if we can resolve the fertile ground next turn. And then we'll drop our Simic Growth Chamber into play. Alright, well this is lining up to do the kind of things we want to do. If we can just get some of this stuff to stick. It's probably going to be another Spell Starter Sprite. Yep. Alright, that's fine. Alright, we'll pass the turn. I get a little aggravated at these little mono blue fairy decks. It's kind of like when you're being swarmed and bitten by mosquitoes when you're out camping or something. That's how I feel when I play these. I think we're going to go ahead and just try. At this point, you know, okay, so that's good for us. We've played our land. I think we'll go ahead and pass. Sure. All right. So we've not been drawing our Giga Drowse very well so far today in the tournament. That really is kind of a marquee part of setting up your combination. Alright, so we've hit our Ponder. I don't think we're really prepared to go off just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and play the Simic Guild Gate here, and let's just go ahead and pop this Ponder and see what we find. A Giga Drowse here would be fantastic. We did not get the Giga Drowse. I think I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle. And well, I did shuffle, didn't I? Yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes. We'll go ahead and transmute here just so we're using our mana effectively. One less thing we have to worry about going to get. And we've likely, you know, we've probably got at least another 2 turns to try and find what we need. Okay. That's probably promising for us. Like, ordinarily them having more cards is not what you want, but it does tax our Giga Drowse a little less if we can draw into it. Alright. Well, we can make an infinite amount of mana, but that's not really helping us much here, is it? I think what might be an okay play here is to play the Wind Zendikon here so we just have a blocker. They'll probably try to counter this. Okay. And I think we just go ahead and ship the turn and look to anticipate end of their turn. Or if they tap out here, we can do it. So we get a bit of a reprieve on the turn there, thanks to the Wind Zendikon. We'll take the Portent. Ah, good grief. I always forget you can actually target players with that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, you know what? I should have done it the other way. I should have put the anticipate. Yeah, that was kind of a little mini punt. Because I could have anticipated on their turn too. Alright. Actually, I might go ahead and play the Life Spark Spell Bomb here. Because we have multiple ways in which to, you know, keep a man land. So I'll play that. If they want to throw a counter to this, I mean, that's fine. But if not, I think we're perfectly content to crack that end of turn for a card. Because we're going to draw, beginning of their upkeep, we should get our Preordain here. Which means our next draw gets us to anticipate, and then we can crack that end of their turn. So we'll see what they want to do here. Alright, so they're coming. Put a block here. I'm guessing they just want a ninjutsu in their ninja here. Very interesting. Wow. I think they feel like we're running counter spells that we're actually not running. We're going to go and sack this spell bomb. And get a card. That's going to get us our anticipate. And then we'll go ahead and anticipate here. Oh, goodness. We don't want any of those. I guess, we'll take the Freed from the Real just in case something happens. At this point, let's go ahead and preordain. Wow. Alright, bottom. Alright, just okay, that gets us to our win con. But we definitely don't want to fire this off right this moment. Okay. Whew. I think I want to go ahead. I'm going to see if this can't get a card out of their hand. Okay. Sure. Alright, so that gives me one less thing to worry about. We're going to go and ship the turn. We would really, really like to hit a Giga Drowse. Alright, let's go ahead and anticipate here. Ah, for the love of Pete. We'll take the preordain. I'm pretty sure they're still in my deck. Holy moly. Okay. Bottom. Top. Let's anticipate. Holy cow. Alright. Goodness. Alright, we're passing. Alright. So... Oh, goodness gracious. Alright. Well, let's win Zendikon here. I'm sure this is going to get another card out of their hand. It might not at this point. Yep, sure. How much mana can we make? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're getting to the point now where we almost have to start trying to look to go for it. I'm going to give this one last turn to try to get the Giga Drowse, and if I don't get it, I'll probably be looking to push one of these Freed from the Reals through. Oh, that's bad. Yep, that's rough. What do you want to bet that we draw the Giga Drowse next turn? I'm just betting. Oh, no. Okay, well, look. Let's play the Spell Bomb. We're just going to go for it here. We're going to add blue, blue, and blue. Freed from a Real, enchanting that. And if they have a counter, we're just dead. It's fine. Spellstutter Sprite. Sure. Alright, let's move on to the next game. So, it might... But the spell is just... I mean, Spell Pierce and Dispel are not very good against the Spellstutter Sprite. Vapor Snag is a little better there, but it's terrible against most of the other stuff that they're doing. It's very possible that we just try to play the game and hope we can just combo. Again, not drawing Giga Drowse there. At any point where we draw that Giga Drowse, we're in a good spot. We're just not finding it like we'd like. I'm going to try not to dilute the deck. I've been doing that in the past, and it doesn't seem to work out well, so we're just going to see if maybe they overboard, and we can just, you know, try to be consistent here. We are on the play, so that's pretty nice. Let's go preordain here. We don't need that Free from the Rot now. We'll go ahead and take that Ponder, though. And we'll ship the turn. I swear, it always feels like these guys have like a million Spell Stutter sprites in their deck, even if it's only 4. Okay, so we do need that Thorn of the Falls here, so I think we want to draw that something around that order, and then we'll make that our land drop. Alright, and we'll pass the turn. Hopefully we can get our Fertile Ground set up. Let's play... This is very likely to get countered. Spell Stutter Sprite. Everyone's favorite card. But, if it does, that's why we have the Airy. That's our next draw, so... yeah, you kind of expect this. If they don't get their land drop here, I think we definitely want to play the Airy. But they did. Alright. We're going to keep playing our lands. We have to just try to jam this. Alright. And let's go ahead and play a Life Spark Spellbomb, just have it out there. Maybe they daze. Set the plan here. Alright. I guess knowing about Snap, it probably would have been in our best interest to incorporate some of the dispels, maybe. Alright. Alright, draw a card. Goodness. Alright. You know, against most other decks, we've actually got everything we need to win the game right now in our hand. The problem is just, it's so difficult to resolve these spells. That might have been a reason not to pop the Life Spark Spellbomb there. Like, maybe we needed that reassurance that we could make a guy there. The problem is, if we don't have all the tools we need to go off, which really we need a Giga Drowse. 1 Giga Drowse, we win the game at this point. We have so much mana. I don't think they can beat us through Giga Drowse. The problem is we can't seem to find those. If I just run out the Wind Zendikon here, I am almost assuredly running into a counterspell. I 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm gonna transmute ahead of time here. And we'll see. We've got the mana to play the Valakut Invoker and start pinging stuff. At least we'll use some of our mana here this way. And our opponent, we're not ever going to catch him tapping out. He's content to just, oh my good lord, baby. Here we go. All right, guys. So that's a fantastic draw for us. A fantastic draw for us. That's not to say we can necessarily win here, but this gives us our absolute best chance. Oh. Okay, we're really lucky there. We probably should have tapped that pre-combat. Right. We're going to replicate. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. All right. So we get to catch it at 1 here. I'm just replicating the max amount. I'm going to try to hit all 3 of our opponent's lands with 2 different triggers of the Giga Drowse to make sure that he doesn't get to hold mana up. All right, here we go. So we're going to target that one. 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 Then we're going to target that one. Then we're going to target that one. Okay. Now we do have to be wary of Daze here. He can still return an island to his hand. He can still bounce our guy. So those aren't necessarily things that are going to stop us. If we can set it up, then we get to go infinite mana and we can respond to what he does. And it should be really difficult to stop us with a Daze. So we're going to play a Wind Zendikon here. Okay, and we're going to play Freed from the Real. And now we're doing it. The obvious downside to this is this takes a while to amass the mana you need. You feel kind of like a bit of an a-hole while you're doing it. But you have to have 8 mana per trigger on this, so you do have to amass quite a bit. At this point, we'll go ahead and play the Invoker just to show our opponent. Sometimes you'll get an early concession. We can save ourselves some clicks. It's not likely going to happen, but you know, our opponent's so far ahead on clock right now. but it doesn't often hurt. Now we have no fear of days. It's like, yes, we'll pay. We'll pay one for days. Okay. And we continue here. So there is no out for our opponent at this point. Even a snap at this point, we get to just keep untapping and replying to their ability on the stack until they're dead. So let's just we had someone watching the match who's commenting on the fact they're not scooping to this, but it is what it is. I've made plenty of opponents carry out their sentence. What is that they say in Game of Thrones? Those who carry out the sentence should swing the sword. So, I mean, I guess it's my fault I'm playing it, so I'll be the one to click it 5,000 times. Ugh. I'm really glad I got to show this deck some this week for the Pauper, but I'm probably going to be playing something else for our segment next week when we play Pauper, just because this is kind of tedious. You know, playing Paper Pauper, say that 3 times fast. Playing Paper Pauper is, this isn't obviously near as rigorous. Oh, there we go. He didn't make me make the last click. What a stand-up guy. All right. So, looking at this now, I do think maybe we're going to bring in the Dispels. Just, he didn't see him in the first couple games. I think we'll take out a port in there. And it would be nice to kind of catch him on those, thinking, okay, I can just counter this, or I can just, snap on this. I think it would be good to have. It was nice, though. You got to see what I was talking about with the Giga Drowse. Once you can just tap your opponent down end of turn where they can't stop you, I mean, you just get to go off. So it was nice getting to actually showcase that once. I think we dropped one Anticipate. Although, at this point, I'm kind of like, do I even dare? I've had such a hard time drawing well with this deck today. Cutting my cantrip seems rough. Spell Pierce just doesn't feel very good here. They get to sit down on their mana so often that I don't feel like that one's as good. Dispel, on the other hand, seems perfectly fine. Because then it's either they have a way to deal with the Dispel or they don't. it gives me at least a small way to hold something up to fight for these combos. Alright, so we'll see what we can do in game number 3 here. Our opponent's going to be on the play. Given our hand, I'm going to go ahead and try this. We have a lot of opportunities to find a land. Okay, and we've picked up our land here, so that's just as well. Go ahead and ponder. I'm not real excited about any of that. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and shuffle the library here. Okay, so we get one more piece. So, alright, this is shaping up okay. A good draw for us. We wouldn't mind seeing... Oh, he misses land drop. Oh, almost makes me wish I had played that Thorn Falls now. That feels like a wasted opportunity. Alright. Let's go and preordain. That's tough. I feel like I'm just gonna bottom here. I just really want to find the things we need. And we'll pass. So he's gonna have to play actual counterspell to stop the sheltered area this turn. I am gonna go ahead and try to get it out. So yeah, this is gonna need to be daze or actual counterspell, which I think we can expect to see. But yeah, okay, that should be fine. So our opponent's hitting their land drops now. I think they are a little hesitant to want to play stuff just because last time we got them to tap out, we just got to win the game. So we're gonna go ahead and play our land. Let's go ahead and preordain here. Okay, we're gonna bottom that. We're gonna top that. And then we're going to go ahead and see if we can get rid of the sprite here. Yep. Reason we don't care as much there is we're liable to draw into something else to enchant our land. And if not, we have the drift here to go get another sheltered area. We just got to try to force it through. And our clock is such that we can't actually wait around for 20 turns like we did in game 1. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and play a Winds Indicon here. Interesting. Oh, okay. I forgot they got to untap the land. I was about to say, they can't even do that. Sure, sure. Okay. Alright. So we've got our man land resolved. I'm not going to crack this Life Spark Spellbomb if I can help it this time around. Assuming I do manage to get this off, I'm going to have to kind of click like a bat out of hell here, because I've got very little time. Alright, Ponder is a fine draw. Give me everything I need here. Come on. Well, it did give me some things. That's part of that. I do want that freed from the real. Oh, baby. So close. Alright, we're gonna give it a try here. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and F6 through the turn here. Alright, so we have our Giga Drowse coming. We're gonna F6. Range of deep hours. Yeah, that changes my clock a bit. Okay. So growth chamber. Well, one, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1. Replicate 6 times. This, of course, is just me hoping I hit a top dead draw there. I could get lucky. You know, if I hit Drift of the Phantasms off the top, or if I hit my win condition off the top, then maybe I can pull off a win here. Sure, okay. Good job. Sure. I doubt most of this is going to matter. I guess it... Okay, actually, yeah, it can matter because if they're making the right targets, then they're going to be able to prevent me from keeping their guys tapped down here. Spellstar, Sprite, and Snap. That's pretty brutal. So, yeah, they may be able to kill me through this Giga Drowse this turn. So that was a really heads-up play by the opponent. Try to tap their guys. They weren't having it. Alright, well, we got to take a game there. Pretty exciting stuff. Looked like we got close. And look at that. Looks like our next draw would have won the game if we had managed to tap them down there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next round. Alright, we're back. So it turns out there was less rounds for the tournament than I thought by one, so dropping that second round actually took this... Excuse me. You just wolfed down some pizza, so I'm kind of... there we go. So yeah, but yeah, we're out of dropping that second round put us out of contention for the tournament. And I have a few other things I want to do, so I went ahead and bowed out gracefully. We did get a chance to look at the deck a little bit. It is kind of unfortunate that we had to play against the exact same deck twice. Just the mono blue fairies. It would have been nice to have seen a little bit more variety. It's difficult to get a real good pulse on how good something is or isn't when it's just playing against the same thing, which is debatably one of its worst matchups. So we may give this deck a try at a later date. I might even do it again for next week's edition of this when we do Pauper again. Um, I am kind of wanting to look at that sweet mono black deck I had been trying out also. So we'll have something cool. There's also a pretty neat Orzhov Pauper deck that I kind of like playing that I've been messing around with. So we'll likely showcase a different deck. I'd like to showcase a different deck every week. We might come back to this one, but given the math fairies in the field, this might not be the time to bust this bad boy out. But it was nice to get to see it go off. Turns out the opponent and a couple people were getting pretty salty in the chat because of the opponent not scooping when they were obviously dead. But I mean, given our position, like maybe that time would have mattered. It definitely would have allowed us to not have to play so hastily, and maybe we could have made some different decisions since we were a little cramped on time. But in the greater scheme of things, I still honestly do feel like we were probably going to come up short that game. It's just an incredibly difficult matchup for us. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.